CT and still lost the match. So no surprises coming further. And actually, I think for Falcons, I think they're in a place where I don't even think they know their map pool right now. I'd be surprised if they did.
Darwish dört mi kaldı? Slap mapa.
Heavy off kind of guesstimations
Pizgielam.
of a
Pomena nakna nas gila sienten.
previous ones. So we do actually have the veto. The bans did go as I just said. The picks though.
Atakan
Vertigo
nas gil
Falcons
Inferna
and
sejshin mat
Mirage,
fortsatte.
Bad News Eagles, and I'm not super surprised by the Mirage pick, but I think the Vertigo one.
Infernal
Risk,
does
the
the illusion
it
mer.
used to be a great map for them, but not played that much of late by Falcons.
It's an interesting one. There's been some vulnerability, right? Like their record on it. You've got some losses to teams that definitely aren't encouraging. It's been a little back and forth. I don't know quite what to make of that pick coming through from the Falcons. I think that does represent a potential big vulnerability here.
Från Daniel Loivin Båsars, från någon eller vad? Alessa Kamyanis Bad News Eagles under Falcons.
So I think for the Falcons,
Many for nizat mi ever.
I'm gonna get nervous.
Bazat min
My
tatar.
question is, if you're looking at the pool, if you're just looking at the percentages, right? Surprised we don't see a lean towards that Dust 2 earlier. Surprised we don't see a lean towards that Inferno earlier. Dust 2 will be the decider if we get it out, but I guess Falcons gonna have to show us their stuff here on Vertigo.
Certainly, and actually,
Det var inte kulturnamentet kan du ni löjda.
Bad News Eagles didn't expect
Och det kan bara
That's always a little bit of a factor in these vetoes, where if you think you have a sleeper map, then they're not going to expect. You pick into it. They've spent their day, prepping for a Dust 2, for example, or maybe even a nuke or something in these directions, and you've got a completely left field. So that could be a factor, but I'm very intrigued because I think there is a point to prove on Vertigo for Falcons.
I mean, we did watch that Vertigo last week up against Ecstatic, but it was not a sure thing. It was the decider in that series, as I recall. The decider of the first map, which one?
I like that.
But either way, it was 16-13, right? It was a bit of
a Ktavic jahanis maharat. Några stater går till jahanis.
Never mind. It was Ecstatic's pick. So Falcons saw what they saw there and said, you know what, we do like this. The problem is when you picked into it, you got to start T-side. There's a little bit more of a challenge here. So it's going to be an interesting one to see. I'm not quite sure which way that map's going to lean there, Alan, but I think it is going to set the tempo for the series. I think if the Falcons can come out and be competitive, we got a 3-mapper on our hands. Otherwise, I think the Bad News Eagles might be the bigger bird, clutch them in their talons, and fly away. Eagles, larger than Falcons.
Simple logic, but yeah, I'm excited, but I think before then, we're going to take a little break and then come back for the game.
En arvsa sepä hoina kaffeeraid. Dessa sartan löja vetse paskan hindoitor reklaamas för att vi chasingta eller pashkoina med dojan. Vi uversha ju med tästä med ball like och subscribe. Gjithashtu som është brenda live-in. Kallzoni që këto tu këshirbana eja. O Sadik baba, po qysht kam. A thu sot, ja, sot s'ka shans 16-0. Se ishin të fort. Venin në 32 e kanë këta, në 35-it, në anglisë. Po vi me dosta, kur vi me dosta.
Shumë kjo mo por zotin.
Det thëra. Tutorial.
Shabash në torë
Si ta përdojnë mouse. Backson. Wszystko muzyka, ja paska. Bile se muzyka ti kishin si pa copyright apo.
Se vëno atë
Po
të
më shumë si hota tani të prit. Vallahi shkësh kuk. Marrë, do sill sa nesa këni.
Shumë e fort ka që do thënë.
Këmë me ma ose gjysore i baj ka me kry. Surf. Chill. Surf and chill. Kaj mjarë jatë, surf and chill.
I kem së reklamat pas me së bje.
Taj të shkro, janë anas të pa.
Po, më ditë ma përpara se me dojlë.
Ja, ti ka me delay. Në letë zëvë së ditë.
Aha. E të tash një në njëjtë ashtë.
A peti një detën unit me kry.
Se vetë zara e pasa. Qatë shumë me kësa i ka kërë.
O e ndret baba. S'ka shansë, Allah, që shto me hypje.
I gravitetin zara ka këta dhe thëra ma.
Ja, ashtë ka mundësi. Vetë me t'jom bëhë sa syna s'ke po.
Po i me bosa.
Sa e që pja nisi loj, po me në menë që aja muzik të një mundë nësë.
Pa unë mu më krym ka një. Dhe pardje ku më gu njerë. Thare të ngrej. Surf and chill. A dal të ashtyje.
Yeah. Good.
Ta është pësit i lejdi.
Surf and chill. Surf sanguine. A bet, po vlo sa ma pa.
Do 3 minuta bi prejtë.
Po bilelet në galë të në cilat ma pa janë t'i zgedh. O, hajde Kosova Kingi. Hale se sot derbi, baba, derby. Me bojnë mu që ta Falcons sot. Baba tjena. Edhe pse jena.
A cilën vend kënë këta?
32-tit. Në 35.
Flak, po s'po shku. O, dhe mi shama ka kollë zemër se njeri falojë në zeri a deta. Heqat që i kollë. Ma fart e kanë zerë.
Po që me diploma e ka myti. Diploma e myti, po diploma në kërë.
A ke...
Në Kosova King.
A ke po, qëfar të përtet me kam po ata? Se dhe ke po video në TikTok.
Kam TikTok o jara.
Merë, bro, se ta the.
No. Më thjerë një smaj home tani.
Ta e të shumë ati giftera.
Gjuni,
të shumë përsh.
Mi vjellën giftera. Përse ta së fëqeli TikTok.
Për me nuk o normal, e një e rëu këtë si anin, be. O krypë në do këtë, Allah.
A jeni bogati me vitë vajerën.
O, sholla fitën.
A, kismet, mas, bëna esë. Inshallah fitan bënaja 2-0, bile me këshirë Bayern me Barcelona direkt. Me 2-1, pjesa parë më shkar.
A, një surf. A, një bëna sërë.
Allah, pet shaj kam pek.
Që kam su që këtë sem për smenës bënë?
Plan me njerin ta.
Gjybe po.
Me po me fitu Barcelona 3 golla me përsia e bija Colla ka me dalë në
Po,
kampionat.
me faj. والله جودس.
ان شاء الله رنا يكوش من تليفون المية كاميرا زي رب دود متيا متيانا دكيت تشكى الدنيا يا برافك شلون بناين هات اشتاط بانك كيت مكتاب دثرونا تماما تورا reklam على مليون كده شنو مليون
بدا بقى.
الدول ده خسافة وندت ما بعد
Ja,
بس اتشاتني يعمل صرفا هذا صرف فيز بور دي شيء وبوبرلوج
het ziet hij weer. Je bent vast. Anis, Anis.
اشير يا خويتي بلا
Je bent Anis, Anis.
يا باشا ما باي كراش
Ah, au Bob Motors.
والله بس خيمة reklam ما بعد كيت Missota, alltså köpa tävling, missata. Tjaj på en shiptarast.
Sebastian har bara fullt köp här. Kan säga.
Flamor i fransjörstek. Flansa säkert. Fransjörstek. Och switchar man på skor. Jo, men far.
Ja, det var sannis.
Djävla ser ni drinkat kanal och sarana med bara subscribe. Gillar så det på Tony lika. Så det bara ni chill like pala sen ni bara är. Ah, bad surftrarna.
Ja.
Mapsan. والله که kanalai mapa varstashka. Podriza toka, kurvi me dosa, set medium bosa. Mi piktaten ik. Dobra, mi je to bja, knausa to exo valla. To već hajt mi otan bajen ese. Jo, na kokolon egy ma viszik nagy kajti.
Oh.
Turbo bab. Sport är kallt.
Ska så normal bli. Sebastian är bara så sanke.
هذه ان شاء الله زال ما يلا بام
Jag var inte inne och nio.
طيب نعرف
ما باي فلاش.
يا كوي كيتش تاما باتنير كاكا بورس تانس باسان يغار دروشي
Ska passa han ifrån djur på den marka sit. Blup.
والله كم فرمولا ني كابو كتما باشكا تشتمر مال دويا نزاي قوله عشان مثلا ليست مع مير ميكاس باي ميرا بس من اي هيك باش شاتي باش Podría tocar kurvi me dosta, silverian bosta. Sina skepa. Hadi inshallah ma skama. Please ma. Bal ma vlačka te šta te pes. Ma snaju ana niđat. A fitum po vlačka. Hadi se ganic.
Fitum.
Aj förgadit ni var så inshallah jätte du. Ja, aksar rolla. No khase. No dakat. Apet mob. Valla. Azla boray gozanay. dryga toga, kur vi me dosa, se me djam boesa. Och Barcelona. Jag bara zemja fitore, med hopp. Chans att jag inte vågar på med hopp. Ser han ta form, Bayern är särskilt ta form. På något idé då bara. Något idé Bayern. Apet Bayern och Bayern. Ja, plus lunchbed vet. Visst ni mi gjashin bileta jak shnillan Barcelonës. Tifaz. Edhe ata nimi bileta ishin këtë polak. Shtonita. Që kishin orë me këshyvis Lewandowski. Dhe ekipet janë bërë sot puna asoj me gazetarë. Edhe Bayerni do të milshu 3 golla se zbat nomi. Përfitojnë aket në këtë rast.
Se jo shka përfitoni?
Dela ja që i ka desh qysh.
Po. Në përpesim me nxena. Me gëzë.
Dela ja bia.
Këtë po kita përmëni audiencën aty o rritë shumë aty. Në të ka. Të vritë njerës. Koja me lojë, mos të kryo loja. Oj, ti sholla, bo, por, zoti, mos e futbollin. Përmëni atë më.
Ti thanë tani djali babës që be babës sporti po kësyra, të i desh. U kretën
O,
më
kretën më la,
Nesja.
O, bo, por, zoti.
Ja ka njës, më qëra Allah, ma pas ne ka kalëzu.
Gjigi.
Jena këto me Riyadin, po për zbërtet shumë është edhe sot në të shumë lajë.
Jo, se s'kam një partit me qovë zonën tem, ja. Përshëndetje të njerë. Inshallah fitojna.
Është ta rritë pak më shumë zonë.
Vetë inshallah fitojna.
Ma pa por,
Wow, that was a statement of
çfarë ma pa
intent.
kjella.
Eager to take the jewels.
Gjigi.
Collects ahead for his trouble. Look at all
Mirë,
three
na.
of these players on
Na shtaj
Bayern.
fitojna se me
They
altia.
are so
Po me
determined.
altia,
The
alla
minimap,
problem.
like, they're leaving B open. This is a wild pistol. Double mid. B open.
Yeah. I guess they're expecting that mid presence or to get an audio cue from utility, but there's not a lot of utility at hand. So now they're bunched with 3 to rotate. They'll start to move Synopsy back.
Ku ka qaj i juni? Ç'ki maka është ta? A me suta, i vore.
Kë Misuta,
Okay.
po thënë që shqiptar tash, pra Allah sonë të ri.
Misuta. Misuta.
Okay, Misuta.
Love
Action
it
here, a
for
third found Misuta just with a Glock.
Kja kaj
Has
Marbella
turned
on.
this on its
Kale,
head.
senar.
And
Are
now
going
this is
këto,
a
one tap.
take.
Qaja!
Kind of
Cool,
light
cool.
round. Never mind is not the hard part of the round, but Misuta appears to be the raid boss.
A, në
He's
rigam
gone
bolla.
to the USP. There's not
Ai.
really a lot of chances here for Rygon in his double swing.
Ja, problem.
Fort Allah hak.
O bi të po të në vend në shikon. Unë zonë s'pëdi bë që sa thëtë.
What an
Why did they leave it
afterthought
open?
from him. Wow. But I have to say, I am not a fan of the macro there from Bad News Eagles. You get the kill on ramp and full information,
Allah karabi.
and you commit to leave free there and leave the open. I don't mind
Katër
it as
killa
the
I
start of
bani
the
valla
round,
Misuta.
you're making a guess. That's how
Valla
Counter-Strike
nërse.
works.
Thanë ndja, thanë një forta.
They had a lot of time to at least get into a setup where, you know, they're going to trade 1-for-1 on B or buy time, but, you know, when you let it get to an afterplant, that's when you allow the dice to be rolled rather than really using your numbers to your advantage.
Valla sad që kjo ekipe pas ka. Unë s'pe një, nëjë si një, këta CSGO t'go të heq.
All plugged in. Little peek from center.
Përveç bëna e skoptërët.
Oh, this feels just deep in my pores, like a 5-7 clip moment. Can't tell you why exactly, Alan, but I just
Hale Senar, bravo Senar, baba!
first looking for 2. He's
Ko,
got
ko.
three. Center shooting.
Ola me po dollin ma.
Qaja flata, hale edhe një. Ku ku shkaj këna baj, fort s'kan lu, mos harrojna fort s'kan lu.
I told you so, Falcons. Falcons, but I told you so.
Bravo. Super.
Ja, boba. Vars bol.
Super baba. Dünya easy.
That was amazing. I mean, I was sat back, Mike. I was thinking he's dead. He's gonna die immediately. You've totally cursed him.
Belle bana enormt, ska jag säga.
The first kill was a bit of a spray. The second and third, he absolutely annihilated them. Wow, that was. What I'll say is clip it up and ship it to Maui because he'll enjoy that.
Pasqabilek sniper. شكرا سنايبريسي ده مثلا معك إن شاء الله زدين مليون إن شاء الله سيادان سمديت مليون دين
I want to say I feel the Deagle round coming back to answer, but I don't feel the energy tingles here, Alan. Maybe I'm wrong.
Only so much sort of predictions.
Yeah, right. You can't just keep spinning it.
Përshëndetje ja çka Kosova King.
Alanı tüyo öyle şaman.
Apparently the prediction fairies may have blessed.
GG. Se poshas shkova, çime të mëre.
Spel var det.
That was an underwhelming.
Jag har hållit den.
Kills, 5 alive for Bad News Eagles. An AK brought through from the reset round. This is actually a big deal already because
Tri me një easy.
Full eco essentially.
Nuk ba me dek sash asnjë, super i shkon.
The Eagle clip, the 5-7 clip was beautiful, but the overall impact maybe is even greater because Bad News Eagles are going to have so much cash when we get back in the guns.
Hade kapıcıke bume. Bravo.
Nice little chip up nade damage early. Not that you have to be too worried about these Glocks regardless, but hey,
bravo Rigone. Rigone est.
Vad problem?
Rygon, not one to fear any variety of Glocks. Doesn't have to worry about running out of bullets though. This is the one thing.
Mos që bani po shë borë ndeshën me orë me mëntu mirë. As vëmë se kanë. Veç rreni që to, s'kan shka bojnë. I kena të zonë gërsh që to. Që kemi suta nacionaliteti francez, Albania a kish. Se di, o sonë e por veç flamonin francez. Kish pas. Po shqiptar, po thëjnë ketë.
Nashtë më rroj, ko.
Bit of a mode out from the bridge.
E që të ronë, tash do të me fitu gjithë qysh. Sa ata janë full buy.
Round 5 and GXX is 7,000. It's crazy.
Po, s'është.
Yeah, it does feel like
we're absurdly early gonna have to be saying this.
But because of how well the beginning of this game has gone for BNE, this round feels like it has a lot of importance. I don't know that Falcons have to win it, but they do need to make it contentious.
Që ja flesha së normale, po është zët.
Effectively got a bonus round.
Po, ma se dhja e ka, po, banana më të
shqipin. Better than that, really. MBK, though, will get an entry. And that's a nice thing to find. Ramp now, under...
Heci mislta, 26 hat përbor.
Is that a CT smoke by the crane?
Që të rënë do të me fitu gjithë qysho,
a little perplexed, and I wonder if they've missed a smoke mic and not expected MBK to be through.
I've seen some... it's weird to throw early. It's way too early. I've seen some teams throw that if they want to play a close up by the crane to sort of give them an angle to swing around and maybe get a spot on the player ramp. But
well,
way too
one
early,
of the sandbags.
Right? No. Like actually one by the side of the crane just to give you a slightly wider angle. It's not often. It's not frequent, but I have seen players throw that before. It's almost like a reverse lurk smoke because you can sometimes see the heads popping around on the corner of it. It's not a very common one, and that definitely isn't what they were trying to do that early on.
I'm not sure whose team smoke it was, to be honest. My hunch is CT side, but that didn't make it any easier and gave MBK so much space just to crawl up completely unnoticed.
Speaking of crawling up completely unnoticed.
Oh.
The smoke's faded.
Bra synopsy.
Synopsy though.
Ekran 3-3. Hade synops. Mas. Bravo, 2-2. Tätt hoppa.
Oh shit.
Hade flattra. Bravo. Hik! Qaja.
Po me bova.
4-1, shkojna tash në 5-1. Nëse lujnë forcë na e thanë, po ka 2 minutë. Po s'të kush e ka zgjedh mapën e parë, bore, kujna që kjo mapë.
I'm not sure exactly how that collapsed so quickly. It just felt like that Ivy player got a bit too much space, and then
Po të qitë kush e ka zgjedh qëtë mapa, kush e ka.
taken down from Tetris. So maybe should have used more utility to deal with Ivy. And look at this ramp rush, so fast on the flashes, already scaled up past the crane. GXX still stuck in sandbags.
Shura pa lav, GG, kanë lu forcë, Shkojna në 6-1. Ajo, bas kanë pare. A lutën forca full eka.
Well, I was sort of wondering about this vertigo pick for Falcons.
Bëna jetë, babo. Gjithë ata që janë të të. Jenë ata që zgjedhin mapën e parë. E këta e pas kanë zgjedh.
Early on, I'm not really very convinced.
Falcons atë pas kanë zgjedh mapën e parë. Mirë jena na 5-1, por normal jena polica, kështu që më konë që kryet pjesë parë.
E bojmë bërlog të najse në jo.
14-1, na i thënë. Do të mi ba për mi 10 runda mi fitu bile, pjesë parë, se jena polica.
Huge deal that you can hear so much as the T-side.
Shaj ka bo fladrës. I ki këta për mas.
Free A, but they've chosen to play so slow. Dink is nice, but look at Regon here, smoking down the bottom of yellow, all this space, got his AWP with him. Regon. Here to help, I mean, this is...
Look at what BNE have to play with here. A retake's gonna be a nightmare. They got a single smoke, 2 flashes. No volley, certainly.
How did he gun?
Jeez, that's often how you see teams play. Like the A ramp retake is just going with an A.
Sen är det som
I'll
lava
give
var
it a chance,
flatra.
though. T-side, no smokes.
Ska vi se på.
Maybe they just agreed
Ah,
to play
Smith.
like a utility-less game past the first minute.
I'd love to see that.
Gentleman's agreement. Flashes are for cowards. Apparently
Arrogant.
kills are not for Falcons.
Nalt ik gigant, nalt.
Oh,
Ah,
now
që
they need to get
dokat.
something. There's a couple coming back their way.
Treba se trajena, treba se dy super Rigoni.
Bring this advantage
Kështu
back
se
to
dyna më
20
nxerr.
seconds. They've got no space. Where are they gonna go? It's just a gamble at this point. They have no information on the
Hade
field.
Seneri.
15 seconds. If this first
Më
kill
konë
comes
që
in
ik
from the
Seneri,
second,
so
this round's
feri
over.
Bravo
This
Genci!
round is over.
Sener,
Okay.
qaja.
No chance at a plant.
Ish
At
li
least they
bedesh
died
bab.
before time. Okay.
Me të pa fjolki, aj.
Get on the bomb side eventually.
Ska shka e fort për bënejt. O, djema e këni bo like and subscribe, a jo.
Getting a little concerning. I don't know where all their nades went from Falcons, because they seem to give ramp at the start, which is normally, you know, a byword for we're going to save our nades.
Mu pa më armenja që bënejt pe kanë zgjell asjentin, në mapa tretin
For
ferma.
whatever reasons, they were splurging on their
Ashta.
utility for no control, and as much as Bad News Eagles didn't have utility, they had forward positions, they had information, they had
Hene kalu ma fitum
space
në
to
inferno,
play
po.
with, and they bled the clock so much. It was kind of
Djeja
worst
këtheno,
of all worlds
inferno.
for Falcons. I think they need to rethink this T-side approach, because right now they're not getting any advantages.
Ka kanë të duon, ta. Një tek naj. Jo, dy tek najna. Një diko.
Okay, limited weaponry.
Yeah.
Presumably this makes them play a little faster. Maybe, although they're spreading into a bit of a default. They're grouping up the B steps hit. Last time this happened, they got annihilated by a 5-7. This time, there's rifles on the other side. There is another player close up by panel. One flash out here. Could get caught
Fami,
by this
po, shërë
guy.
po.
Trap.
Section off some players. There's the first kill. He's
More.
lost a teammate though.
Treba
He's
se
blind
katër.
spamming, and this is effective now for the
Shkën në
Falcons.
bëkaja lavash.
They have
Genci atë e ba
proper,
pol.
then that's gonna cost
Ja,
one,
merë një kjell
and the
asesinë
second
ofsi.
bomb down. The the moment
GG
may have just been
QONI
lost. They
i
shot what they
Italian.
could here. The bad news Eagles
Super,
did
no
overwhelm in
catch.
the first moment, but they're so quick to respond, and that's the beauty of Vertigo. You can correct your mistakes positionally in an instant.
من
They
هيك
were also
أظن
playing a
يراش
2 mid setup
ده
there.
دوتيش
And
يرتاحون.
actually, I think I can't remember which player it was, but one of them was holding a Molotov.
اوكي ده دوزيش انت فورت كتاب الله.
Honestly, they should have got more of that B setup.
تاو تات برشنك شنت في التومة.
It's not the end of the world.
Nej, kan
also
adjust their stop.
economically, okay, it would have been nice to save more guns through, but they've just got
وزيب
so
سا
much
باس من
cash.
زغيلا سينت إن الله
Again,
تاسكش
the
لو
earnest
هيت.
has to be on Falcons. At least
Kish
they're
and
upping
post
the
lui,
pace here
ate.
in mid. And Flatcher is alone, so he's got to give this
Što kaljon është amon
jiggling
turnament.
window. So finally, some early space taken and not a lot of utility done.
Det sigurt jag kan bara bank då.
Så?
Och det ska väl mapa till ban.
Ja. Igen så regolat farty. Bidin da sana.
Gotta be a little bit wary about this. They're gonna come look and he will get his kill. Able to fall away, so an advantage here for Falcons.
Regan palla isto. Bravo. Evo ti je emocional. Emocional.
But the trade is there. Well played from
Treba sa
VPN.
kotar. Ju sana shumë lava.
3 on 4
Li
now.
sota već ataka tërkilla në rënd por edhe ma e ka palu. Qëto me pas një farë bume pas pas me një smak.
These players will start to inch their way up the A ramp. Problem is, this is where the presence is focused for the Bad News Eagles. They've got the players here in time. The op is towards the side hall. And so the Falcons, whether they realize that or not, are gonna leave. Here's the right read. Okay, Alan, things are getting
Arrogant.
MBK, right? He doesn't die for free here.
Han që e genë si
Continues
ston.
to make some noise.
Bravo! Genë si
Bravo.
so ver.
But he's been collected. And center
Yes,
has
ja,
used the
det är
utility.
så
Rotation's
det
going to be on
top
here.
for.
Center catches
Så?
that flash
Så
though.
på.
Treba
Can't
sa
deny the
tre.
bomb plant.
Ja, det
Finally,
kan vart med
a
snaj
bomb
det jag
plant.
har utfört.
But holding on to it's going to be a different story. A flank will be developing. One flash is
Oh,
coming
nice.
forward.
Ja,
Center
fart
gets ahead of
kör.
it, and that could have been the kill that actually sees this round come through for
Ja,
Falcons.
helt jävla
Now
flat.
they're wary about the flank. Now they
Lyssna
only
så
have to
jag
worry
kom.
about one towards either side here.
Ni headshot
And,
spej.
well, unless we get a massive
Kapo,
play from
yes,
one of
kapo.
these two,
Mira, chef Latra,
he's
Jui.
on the opposite
Charge
side.
to, Flatra.
Second player as well, he's got the information, but not the execution. One Flatro had the pieces of the puzzle, but he couldn't
Qysh
put
më
it
se
together.
kopi?
And the round will go the way of the Falcons.
Good recovery. I think that round was more about punishing.
Ti hek e Flatra që ata dë.
Loose
GG.
and aggressive on A.
Që jasë në përrisin të.
And,
A
I've
maka.
noticed there, Mike, they had one smoke
La
left
Marco
at 1 minute. I think it was
italiano.
1 minute 30. Falcons were down to 1 smoke. They
Tra
were
bort
using
killa
so
game,
many
secret cult.
nades, presumably on ramp early, to contest the
Ka
control,
që
and they're
fort,
not getting
po.
it. I think stuff like this, the early Ivy smoke and doing so many
Ej,
early
qëta shtë
nades,
janë për një minut.
they've got to
Një
be
dal
more willing to
përpara.
take that control. And this time they are, so this is a good change up, Mike.
Esi me sol. Ma, Rigoni me sener GG. 4-3, hajde.
Okay.
Hajde Rigon, heket që të në bëkën e Hamamit. Bravo Rigon.
Realizes right
Po
was
san,
done at
3-2.
the time. One for one though. They do manage to pinch back.
Hajde Synaps. E hek. Shumë lave kalon.
Falcons still have a chance here.
Ma
Synopsy
bre.
just wants to come into the fight and a lot of damage. Don't know if you wanted to stick around there after the initial engagement, Synopsy.
Mozdel,
Bit of
mozdel Flatra.
overconfidence here.
Mozdel.
Reinforcements all
O,
present for
bornan
Eagles.
hapa.
They will continue to try to press the
Tuna,
action. They're all about that action, and so is Maka. 1v2, health not great for the Falcon side, but they can just leave, and Maka is going to do
Hajde me
exactly
ma
that.
toke bëj.
He's gone. Alan, he's gone. He's picked correctly. Bomb plant's gonna go down. Things are gonna get weird with Python still left towards A. Wait,
Hajde GG. GG.
Looks like
they're
it.
coming
I
back
mean,
in?
oh no.
Tek me dy që fërshit.
Now it's looking like a mistake, isn't it?
Yeah, that feels like too much thinking in a 1v2. You got the numbers, you
Inshallah
got the
e ka
advantage.
snipe.
And now
Bas e
Maka with 9 HP has to try and find a place to get this bomb down, and he no longer has any information about where center could be. Because he was in the backlines. He could still be there. He could just be right here. He could be anywhere, realistically. And now center knows. Okay, alright, time to get moving. Molly will allow the bomb to come through. Those have been few and far between for the Falcons. But Center's
Right.
Maka's reading this right. The shot has to hit. Here's the moment. He's got it. had the read, had the shot, had the execution. But what he didn't have is any teammates survive with him.
They'll take rounds, honestly, at this point.
صوتني اوكي
CT1,
ما
he's on the brink. I think they should keep
صوتني
buying
ان شاء الله
those
سناك
catches
فين
wide.
ابور سجلت شو اشتاق
Thinking
من اي
back
بوي
to the 2-on-1, in the sense that when he makes the bridge noise and he's on that HP, I don't think he can go B, because if there's
شترون
anybody
دول
there,
والله
and that's the bomb dropped and that's the round over, so he had to kind of go back. But I do truly think they should have just gone both onto A, keep it simple. But MBK, he's only got 6 frags, Mike, but it feels like every single one is like this, ripping open a bomb site, and that's not a quality I would honestly associate with a player like MBK. So I'm impressed.
He really does feel like he's taking matters into his own
شو الله دويت I can't just my pass my top.
He has been the engine that has actually propelled
دويت
them
يريان
into
قوتي
any sort of competitiveness.
Bravo against.
And this one's certainly going to work out. Bad News Eagles will have to save with what little they've got. A kill on the Haji means that Synopsy can take this gun through, provided he
مني ملطف جوية جاتي والله
Synopsy.
دوت من هي بورسة سكوكو سكان كيت.
What's the plan here?
شايس.
What's
GG safe. سكيش خابان.
Oh, plan is death, Alan. The plan is death.
I think we can see that one coming. It's Falcons. Great entry by MBK. Just accelerates behind it. He's essentially on his own until maybe 5-6 seconds, and that support can come in. But this is better from Falcons. We're working more of the map. We're not so hyper-focused on just launching utility towards A and trying to kind of essentially aim duel it out. So I've enjoyed this a lot more, and they've broken the money. Falcons maybe starting to show us why Vertigo was the pick.
Whoa, GXX pushed off the angle early on. Alright, so what round? They just need 5 to convince you here, Alan? What do they need?
5 would already be, I think, a good recovery, given how badly it was going. Yeah, 5 is fine. If you throw in the context that they got reset second, and the economy got out of control, that's honestly a result on a map like Vertigo. But from the perspective of being their map pick, 7 would be comfortable.
Oh, he's needy. He's demanding here. Settle for 5. Ask for 7. That's right. Know your self-worth. Chat. Ask for more. If they don't say no, you're not asking for enough. Let's see if Falcons will give Alan everything he's wishing for. Y'all's gonna be presence.
Ooh, Sanere.
You need that D ground. Not gonna happen.
Hadi Sinas.
5-7. Oh,
Aneki.
maybe it is.
Most
Didn't
Sinas.
hit center. Second pistol round doesn't happen. Now the bombs will drop. Uh-oh. It's all coming apart. It's all coming off the rails. Python needs a
But
he's just got 1 player left to find. 4 kills already.
spadna ja olim chatte.
Python
Vet
sets
vad
things
man
back
var.
on course. What a time to come alive for Python. He was bottom of the board for both teams until he steps up in that moment, Alan. But that really saves the bacon of Falcons.
That was wild. I mean, so many players on B. There's absolute carnage. Scenario, beautiful exchange.
Spitrondet med video på en drös med som är karstegins.
Ultimately requires Python to bail out. Is maybe Mike. They're thinking they deserve an 8.
Ville مقنن جارج برنيفة.
Okay. All right.
Bravo, det går ni med Saneren.
Brings those numbers back. A little boost up.
Mavlet.
Cover.
Synopsis.
Oh, my goodness.
Trasade.
Might need a few more bodies to stack in. NBK. Doing what we've strangely come to expect from him on this map. And Maka will be left as the lone man up on the steps. Python's trying to
Åt kapå, bra Saner.
He's a little too late. Flash makes a good
Bravo Synops babate. Det med pass, super.
But it helps when you have
Han har du runda light pass på jag vill.
8th round found there for the
Lätt
Bad
pissa
News
på. Perşembe jag blende.
Indeed.
وتشونا بين like how to subscribe.
BNE
جيل
couldn't
صار شو
get
مصر
that
انك
force
يكون
buy over
ديك
the line.
توب بين.
The economic damage was monumental.
description. شو
Pushed
فيدا
Falcons back
اريت
so
في
hard.
قدال تسويتني
No
من
buffer,
بالله
and look at this now.
يشون مير.
As suitor. Forward up a little. Is this going to be a full investment? Indeed it is, but look at the utility here. I mean, smokes is good, but this lack of flashbangs could cause a real problem.
Şabanım.
Back GXX.
Vet du ni?
Hä?
Amiga. Seksen kanske...
Bayern ja, man, fast superstat för Bayern. Ja, kalana gola hiç.
First kill.
Allah karab smar mine, se kam ekşi Barcelona. Jo smar mine på ju, se kan ekşi Barcelona. Yes, den är dyr på det.
Okay, goodbye. So two of the
Çarşta
really
beblen
explosive
bala.
players that we've seen so far eliminated.
Kadra sätter resten där igen.
Really potentially expecting too much, but okay.
Här är sen här.
An
Parmas sen här, Parmas! No, bre sen här.
At times in these advantageous rounds, they set themselves up.
Zipse på gång reload med passant till man skär bort.
No need to get that frisky with
Second
the
boss in
spamming, the
Live.
reloading, the bailing, and instead the bomb won't go down. Okay, so opportunity given over for the Falcons. A boost up as well. Oh, so effective from Marcus. He's made this rifle sing for the team. The
Bravo, Synops. Bravo, Synops.
This round should be over. Synops wants
Oh,
to back into the
that
fray and
was
shoot
half
there. He's
over.
got two. Somehow dragging this back into the realm of
Men Barcelona
One
diet.
bullet more was required.
Jag fattar så gomma salat
A sixth round found, and now no money to fight for the last.
This is
90% med
such
nej.
in these last couple rounds. I think BNE though, they're getting a little sloppy on A after securing ramp. Regon's out in the open, gets taken down. It's a bit of a scramble from the remaining two as Falcons are covering territory, and honestly with the early picks I think that should have been bad news. Eagles round every day.
والله ibland när jag ser på moderator så spabba live som spär ris banait kol paru.
Sure, they've made good of a lot of these kind of low
Så jag ni ser bara spär med bara live.
but maybe this one's too much to
Jag
ask.
bara tu Ktina Kosova Kinget. Jag kör bara en aktiv jobba.
Their big error
Sen
in
ner
this
sen så
round
bara
is
fart
that
live.
center is on an MP9 as opposed to a pistol. That's yeah, I think that's the
Even
blunder
dropping
here.
extra
Ja,
distance
tu kolla
when he runs out round.
Kör en aktiv till
True,
svarta
or
fart.
just swap with
Du är
Flag
med
out
på
right
det.
now. Say, you know what, bro? Give me the dig. Don't love that exchange for the Bad News Eagles, but NBK will take it all day. Thank you very much. More entries for NBK. Everybody's here for the CT side, and they've got a flank. Center's actually on that flank, waiting to hold them in. So for the Falcons,
Trasa
well,
pass.
Bojm might get this kill for free if Center gets
Bravo
enough to
sen här
lead
med
CT.
Jarsta per mitt. Här är flätra gick. Bravo flätra.
Oh no, can't zero that in, fortunately.
GG skärskabban sen
Everybody
här
else
med
is
Jarsta per.
supposed to be doing their job just fine, and indeed it will just be left to a
Sources
safe
benzera
attempt
på.
to try and pull back a 1v3 where he is nowhere close to being in position.
Chansa
He did his job.
teori.
He got his. But unfortunately,
Ja,
it didn't
men-
work.
ja,
Just
men
something
Shaka
going
med
on up
Uzi.
front.
Ja men fan.
There's not.
GG pjäsa på stat. Det med stata.
We'll be
För
back
banait.
after this break.
No catch, men vad som mer. Och ta noll med de musiken så där ska pira i den smantan. ليس Janis, أبي صدق Janis من يعرفين.
Ja, nu kan ni spaszkuję men nie mop.
Aj, tror jag måste på att säga det Janis. Det är det ja. والله الدربي تيت نشطاب الناس تاش terrorista och mazar polisen مالاتكم شتمون Tapet tjerë kanë me këta mapa, burr. Kështu as njerës rrin me kështu lojen. Hello, gle. Po më nalët rrima, valla, qysh bala po të nalët rrima? Unë dare eq më rrima.
Valla be, po më dhomë në syt me po që të thëra.
Atëhere ka vetëm një zgjidhje. Mos me këshyrë. Dhe thërëm.
Shë me këshyra, bje.
Zemër të mos me lo kur me më firë. Se kur zëm ke pas aj. Ta shukry kësë jam baj. Me qështu mes pjesëve s'ka nevoj me qitë si asë një turnament se të kësë sene. Fillja nëse pjesë të rritë. Ta Allah, për që ma tajk. Okay. Derbi ofër pjesës po 7-1, kema pet një farë këthimi deri si të. Pas. Problem është se tash ma jena terrorista, problem është. Po letë se kanë më letë. Ja, kjo, lo. Te po, lojen e qiti njoni kish pas dhej, kjo henes të qit loje. Po, për fitora, ja, s'ka dyshim. Për me fitu, kena me fitu, po. Në mërla ekipe fort. Nuk ka për ma në shkalu. Po na jena ma të fort. Duhet ta kemi parasysh. Që ne jena gjiganda. Po, karab, që rëna këtë dojnë. Kur t'ja nisim me live, dhe kur t'ja nisim me lu lojnë a anë, që dhe naj loj e mirë, po që zellë, këna me gjetë naj një. T'ja nisim me live edhe kështu bashkë për det. Me orare, me kejt. Ju kalzova që tani baja dhe moderator. Po për ndryshën as kam orar për live, edhe veç kur lumë bënej apo një live, nuk hi. Dhe me thonë, shto na e herë veç haj. Nuk hi me orar në nësap. Veç ti shakon, si din, 15 i shakon tash. Alo, besën e shion në 16-0. A kam fitu bënejt në herë 16-0 kështu?
Po njerë,
ma herët?
E di që njerë kam fitu. E kanë qitë një lojë. A mos e di akon për turnera je?
Kam në i hare, po. Blinkat po, 16-0 blinkat po. A për bënejt, di që kam fitu. Kër e në kam blink, është një lojë që e kam fitu 16-0.
Për që ta pro, veç që ta kom pro. Tik-tak shtë bënejt si. Sa i kobe që të thëram be.
Po ta 5-5, 16-0 kanë mojt. Bënejt dhe më thonë, jo blinkat. E qajtëm pek dhe thronin këta Allah.
Të më inkrydo.
A, shokri. Kur po derke që kja si futbol, po kryke.
A nisi më dhim kryt kjo velon. A nesë ma?
Rasa, thonë. Mi fitu 2 rondat e parë, na i thënë, ketë, se me altia bërë. Bravo, Synovs baba, shumë mire këna njësë që të rëndë. Are, bo. 2 rondat me altia na vinë, gjatë qysh. Ale, flatra.
Flatcher might be out in the open. Look at his teammates. They're already establishing afterplants. Got Synopsy on the flank, unless
Bötnem mokat
there's
kän.
2 men coming in from
Ja,
behind.
det var
do
inte
Alltså
missutat.
plan.
equal amounts of work.
Skulle
It's
missutat
not
med
gonna
alltid
happen.
mer.
Masuda, position known. Nice fade away. But it's not
Bra,
really a great deal
Veselar.
of difference made as well. Salt in the wounds. As Bad News Eagle.
Du rondat är på. En rond är på det klart med success. Det är rond ut.
Well,
I don't know.
you said it would take biblical amounts of work. I think they were reading the part about on the 7th day.
Må hodge du inte fört.
Not
Nej,
quite
fan alla marschar.
Maybe.
the level needed there. I mean, admittedly in the first half pistol, right? Falcons
Så trär
lost
de
all the
där
initial
inte.
engagements, and then Misuta just killed everybody. This time, Misuta
Normal
only
med
killed
fittot.
2.
Och jag är full läkare bara.
Maybe not the best pistol strat
Full
that
save.
relies on Misuta killing everybody. Especially since apparently that's where most of his kills have come from.
Nej, jävlar.
Could use him getting a bit more activated here in this half. Just noticed
Var det
he's-
bära ut molotov?
he's been fine, but maybe lagging behind a bit here.
Gone for the eco, so we're not going to see another.
Har det kan hacka? Bravo.
Reset.
Ja, bra måste jag hjälpa till. Mer så kan
We
man.
are in for something truly
Var
incredible.
knäna bravo.
Traded is Regon, but there's just too many
Bravo
numbers
så
here.
du.
Scenario is deep.
Bravo sen ja. Let's
Falls
go.
to the ground. Good damage already,
Oh,
but
bra.
honestly,
Bra.
2 frags
Kör för fish.
on a
Oh,
fleet
nice
count.
eye.
It might not seem like a lot, but when we go into this following round, and if Bad News Eagles do lose it, it suddenly puts them in a really tough economic position.
Nu kollar fotbollist är bra. Medan Siddu rondat är på imorgon. Därför imorgon sitter rond. Därför att han är en dum late. Förstår. Nu fick du att sitta rond.
Mad HEs, they take some interest.
Shaya.
Don't actually connect on
Nice
anybody,
fight,
so a
nice
1 for
fight.
1 trade make that.
Och gömmer tunen i kakonton här på det fick.
Oh, it gets better and better.
Det break
Funny
jag.
scenario apparently in the break. So I'll send out that information in my brain. It might take a
Små
little while to
procenten
patch
sare
this
till
all, but
knäna ner
that's
sare
the
till
situation.
Först ska jag ta bort tid.
Frankly, do they
Keto nej på det
This
fick
is
det
really
nu på person. Det är duellerna för dig Tomsik. På den
They
fittan.
don't like it. It's not worth it, is it?
Bom jag
Hold
man
on
to.
to these as Bad News
Först kan
Eagles
man bara
creep
säga.
their way up to 11
Sen är det då som lär gå.
after
Det är
what an
vänligt,
explosive round. It wasn't
Ja,
like
faren.
Falcons didn't have the numbers on the site, or maybe they even couldn't have expected it. But they had 2 there. The first guy trapped by
Så
wood
back.
can't do anything.
För
about
shit
the
mappen är
fact that
tunn vä.
absolutely
Så
Ferrari
får jag lo
coming
här
up
det
upstairs.
mappa tunn på
And
då
man
vad chefet
number
då.
2 just gets
Hype
annihilated
Kalabi.
by the Khalil
Måste löla
Scenari.
bäst.
So Scenari, he has showed up to play today. He's had so many important impact frags.
Tottenham late. Da će tron moj namen za rize. Jak ta forc. Men je kela ni vrst. Ma brevor. Ma brevla
Okay. All right.
Bravo,
It's happening.
Rigan.
I called the wrong player.
Chato Holmes van mi mor
I'm
belikta.
doubling down now, Alan.
Allah kolla
Doubling down. It's going to require
Sabah
the
kol
Maka
på många
ace here
gånger
if
ja.
they're gonna convert this
Start
round.
som tränar med gånger bak. På det är
Call my
då.
shot.
På i
Got one in the
explosive
first
fort.
half.
Så visst med dual.
Here's the shot call in the second. How do you rate my
If you
chances?
say so.
Pröva så.
If you
This
say
spot,
so.
Why are they just... they're
Vi
just
kan
not-
morgon. Imorgon.
Uh-oh.
Ja, det här kan som alltid. Nial med kan marka.
TXX.
Så catch.
Go to feast. No, get that utility away.
Kör gans
TXX.
med tvålen. Mobla gans.
And BK has a chance.
Vi måste oss och ta på det på.
Won't get the kill. Molotov down, misses his shots. So he's not going to get a chance to ruin the ace. There are 2 players pushing up on the flank, including one Maka with an AK.
Försök
Bomb's
knäna
getting
bra
planted right in
synaps.
front of him.
Hade Rigan dörs
BK
minimum
down for the
knä.
count.
Bravo Rigan. Bravo
And
synopsis.
those
Super.
here. 3 more
GG.
targets to find.
Ja, vad sen ja.
Foretell the
Kövish.
prophecy, and it's not going to
Då
happen.
är det diga
It's
vlask.
not going to happen. The prophecy was a sham. It turns out I'm not an oracle. I'm just a Counter-Strike caster. And Python alone against 3 does not have a lot of
Då skulle man
opportunities to
morna
get
i
back
arm.
into this round.
Vad ska?
I guess I shouldn't buy a lot of
Start med dum lätt. Så per
No,
tona.
well, the good news is the BNE
Punkt
survived the
to
scare,
mnie
got
szkort
through the round.
szep
The bad
zid.
news is we don't
Morni on.
get to check
Ish
out
والله
where
سمر
Delphi is
مار
taking on a
بشارة.
hill in Greece.
Što kao posle me blije.
Delphi as a caster name.
Da
would
vas
be
mi
playing
arđu
it
sa te
sick.
pore,
Or
ta
would it be an
širunk.
analyst name?
Could be either, I think.
Or just Oracle.
Just gonna make mad predictions.
There's gotta
All
be
day,
a
every day. It's
think
actually,
there's a
I think
CS
it
player
actually
done by
is
Oracle.
like a troll Twitter account.
Hava
where all you
pauz,
do is
bre.
just make the
Koş.
absolute wildest predictions
Bak
for
da.
every tournament.
Leo ja.
Yeah, I think it's called Danish CS:GO leagues, right?
Sounds about right.
There's not a CS player named Oracle.
Čunamo saranite teknikoni butonin like ve subscribe. Nestor se diakobne ja doj. Nisam dugo se kana
3 for the E didn't do anything. What about 4 for the A? Not getting that either. Not getting that either. It does seem like we might have a little bit of a delay here, folks, while I attempt to Google Oracle. There was a team at one point called Oracle here. It was an Australian team that haven't played since 2017. So there is a distinct missed opportunity for branding in the CS scene. Someone should call themselves Oracle or Delphi. Either one would be pretty sick, wouldn't it, Alan?
It would. I imagine a lot of the viewers at the moment are a little bit confused, but they need to read up on their Greek mythology slash.
Yes.
What period would it be? Probably Thermopylae.
We've got time, so let's talk about it. So the Oracle at Delphi. There was this place called Delphi, and there was an oracle.
Yeah,
was
and it's a
young woman who
who
lived in a cave and would make predictions. And one of the theories about why the oracle might have had visions and made predictions is that there were actually toxic gases leaking in that cave in Delphi. And the theory is that she was just high out of her mind constantly, and so would just rant and rave like a lunatic and make wild visions and predictions.
Veš, podjedno vanu dio, mas mek šir Barcelona me vajene
fortune teller method, you say enough things in loose enough interpretations and metaphors, and people will figure out how it actually fits into what then occurs.
Interesting, but is it the case that there's a revolving? It's not the same person, is it? Isn't it? There is an oracle of Delphi.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So they were all getting gassed.
Well, I mean, I think it's like a progression. You know, you train them up in getting absolutely high in caves and making predictions, and you just keep cycling through.
Is there a gateway cave before you get on the real stuff?
I don't know. There might be. There might be a little gateway. That would be an interesting progression. But yeah, no, the Oracle plays a lot of roles in a lot of famous Greek stories. I mean, even the Iliad.
Ja, han kryss med arbetet bak.
Agamemnon was told.
Och det är att kolla bara vid den skaptoren. Tecken ni vindavs förstår världsliga.
Killed her, and then when he came back from the he got killed by his wife in revenge. It's a whole great story. Agamemnon, tragic play, excellent stuff. Terrible story. What was the name of the play where it's actually about her getting sacrificed? Come on, Alan.
I don't know. I mean, I've read there's a book called Song by Achilles, which you might have read.
I haven't. If I can,
yeah, so that
part is in the Song of Achilles. I recommend it. It's a very good take because it's written from I forgot his name, Mike, the cousin of Achilles. It's from his perspective.
Not Ajax.
It'll come to
Menelaus. Different cousin. Oh, Menelaus was his brother. Who's his cousin?
Like
his apprentice. I forget the relationship. We're gonna have to look this up.
There were a lot of those.
It's the one he was meant to have a relationship with. For that.
I'm not familiar. Not familiar. Patroclus, the one Achilles' lover.
Yes.
That's not Agamemnon.
Ja, såg tack och så kan listen says good dudes där om man som ser röd.
If you haven't read the Iliad though, worth a read. It's crazy. It's full of action and gore and craziness and hucking spears and stabbing gods and all sorts of strangeness. Literally at one point, I think Odysseus fights a god or some crazy stuff happens. And then the god's like, chill, bro. If you keep doing this, I will just shred you. Like, just back off. That happens. There's a straight-up exchange where someone tries to fight a god, and the god's like, calm down. Simmer down.
30 före så till
That
läs.
is,
Hade man fan 3 miljoner.
that is flexing. When you're just like, you're so insignificant to me that I like, if you
Inshallah
continue to do
på
this, I
jag
will
tyvärr
annihilate
alla
you, but I'm
hit.
giving you a warning first.
Well, is that bad news Eagles here?
I think so, honestly. I mean, they've had hot starts to games. Maybe Falcons can recover, but it did feel like some of those errors that the bad
Ja,
news
det
Eagles
kan
made in the
saker.
first
Men
half
Mighty möt
allowed
till
Falcons
dit.
back in the rounds. I'm still not convinced by this Falcons vertigo pick.
Hade sjönigt här.
Still got time. Still got time. Problem is T-side money's good, so they've got to make some
Ja, vad
changes. They haven't had a
känner
lot of full buy rounds, honestly, on the CT side. Python, that's nice. That's nice. Finally an entry frag.
Man sitter bara och håller sig ett kikas vad fan är det? Bara enigt kanske med på.
Group up in towards the B hit. Utility over. That looked like it was straight on, but apparently Misto was on the right side of that girder. Steel is thick for those kind of support beams, so I can believe that would stop a grenade. Probably wouldn't do a great deal for the structural integrity of what you're building, though, to throw grenades at the support beams. But you know what? Hopefully they don't have too careful an inspector. Python has a chance to shut down this whole round, especially if
Shut
he's
me on
drawing
deals, shut
focus.
your shut.
Up, bit
Jesus,
risky, but
what
it works out. And this one's looking like a wash for the Bad News Eagles. Honestly, at this point, economic damage onto the CTs would be a great find if they can get a kill or two. Just prevent that CT economy from building up. There's one. Oh, the second! No! Python's good for it. 1 HP, he'll survive. So this is a great round, Alan. This is a great round for the Falcons.
Huge hold from Python as well. That was a case of all the eggs in the B basket, and Python finds one kill, stalls them out, and there's no option. Bad News Eagles already are so committed to the B bomb site that they have to try and force it out, and it's just impossible with the amount of utility and the amount of players in defense. So that was a nice round. We've got to keep it going, boys. Keep it going. You've drained the money. You've done the hard part as it was. But now this is a real chance. This is a key round. If Falcons can win this, suddenly this game becomes a lot more competitive.
Baneshan to do. För nu banes. Simon Tuka. Правильно mer shit kommer. Soundjal. Gen se att jag driver sniperис. Hade backness då. Hade klättra häcke. Klättra. Vad det går.
More here. Haji. Haji? Did he actually spawn or did he just smell him? An audio cue? What is even happening here? What? Rygun. Time to get checked. Time to get your vision checked. Because that's just lost him the entire round. Okay. I'm going to charitably say that his weapon model completely blocked NBK from his vision. We didn't see it from his perspective. But that is a very fortunate bit of luck here for Falcons. And it's probably going to see them to a 9th round.
They needed it. Throwing the context that they lost the pistol in this half, they got reset in the first. It's not been a kind map for them so far economically or establishing anything, but they're really in this now, Mike. If they keep numbers alive, bank up some cash. Ecos to follow for Bad News Eagles. I'm feeling a lot better about Falcons than I did 2 or 3 minutes ago.
But again, like, so many of the moments for Falcons aren't so much about what they've done, so much as Bad News Bears massively Bad News Bears, that's my American showing. Bad News Eagles massively overextending into situations and fights, right? Like, yes, Falcons are doing a good job of capitalizing on those moments. And that is important. That is a huge thing. That could literally just win them this game. But I'm still not convinced, Alan, that this is a smart pick for Falcons overall. I haven't seen anything too inspiring.
Well, even the ecstatic game that we saw last week, that ecstatic team is so hindered, especially from the leadership perspective now, that they weren't calling a great game. So I resonate, and maybe in practice this map is just landslide victories where they're getting aggressive and it's working. But here, as you mentioned, mistakes have been a little bit too frequent for Bad News Eagles, and honestly, gotta talk about MBK because he might only have 13 kills, Mike, but I swear to God, at least 11 of those have been monstrous impacts.
He is an impact fragger. It feels like he does nothing for 3 rounds, and then he lifts a 3K that absolutely wins them a situation. He should be NBI, nothing but impact. It is massive here. You're absolutely right. Lost a player already, but we got a rifle on one Flatro. Now we're gonna see if one Flatro can't find him some kills. There's one. Oh, pressing forward. This is gonna be risky. I don't expect a player by the back door, but one Flatro's already found one more. So let's expect Misuta on the back side. If they can deal with Misuta, what could be? Does out of bullets, but he just needs a USB. He just needs to live, actually. Keep GXX in position because his teammates are here. They're playing the angle. Provided Misuta survives, this should be over. And indeed it is. Nice play from Misuta. He has another player where I feel like he's not gotten a huge breadth of kills, but the ones he's had have been quality.
Especially on the pistols. Done a lot of work on that front. Okay, then, this is suddenly a very compelling game, and look at the money now for Bad News Eagles. That previous one, so this confuses me a little bit, Mike, because the last one was sort of a half buy, but they put themselves in a position where they've got a half buy again. The Synopsy Mac 10 utility is really low, and this is a fake, Mike. This is all a ruse just to call attention, when really it's B, but Python early warning system can call that over now.
This could be huge. Misuta goes down with only one. Uh-oh. They're out of position. The bomb's going to go down. These rifles are still up. There is some retake utility in terms of the Molotovs. He's going to get caught. He didn't expect Rygon to make the move. So it all falls to Haji. One lonely Haji boy. He hasn't had his impact round just yet, but now would be the moment to shine. He will creep on in. But it's never going to happen. One Flatro finds the timing on the peak, and that is a 13th on the board for the Eagles.
Wow, what a round to win on the car boot sale buy. That was... I'm almost stunned how well that worked, because the A-fake wasn't that effective. I mean, it held them for a little bit. They're fortunate the Falcons started free committed A, I guess. Maybe a good read on their part. But, wow, yeah, Falcons, what an opportunity missed, and now they're going to do this the hard way. Look at this yellow aggression in front of the Molotov. 3 players swinging out. I guess they've got the control, but this still feels extremely risky.
Worked out, at least for the moment, and oh, it is indeed. Haji continuing to press the issue. If he goes forward further, yeah, he is going to be dead. That was a little bit too far. But, hey, an advantage still given over for the Falcons. MBK and Misuta are low. Look at this control into the space. He's all the way back in a spawn. He's all the way back through, Alan. If they try and rotate through here, he could have the backstab. He could be the key piece into this round, but he does, at some point, need to actually get down these steps. And if they just hit B and kill Python, all of this phenomenal positioning may not actually matter. Let's find out. Maka not getting a move on. He's very far back. It's going to take a while to get mobile. Well, he is coming up on the flank. Here comes the pressure on in. That Molotov a little bit shallow. Just missed. Maka.
Mopa puolesta.
They're stalling out. Maka.
Aivan loivainen.
He's lost his teammate, but no one's turning around. He's missed it.
Lõime trammi superkaksina.
He gets nothing out of the position. This has to be a save. They want to back out. They're thinking
Glöm att
about it.
stanna över, like, över, subscribe, bossa, kinga.
But that's going to be it all over.
Maka
cannot realize the promise of all of his space, and it spells ruin to the Falcons.
Skivällen.
Oh, that is...
Vision M. Durchmetan. Mopen är portisch förskiet jag Rassaman är 4 punkt. Super, pass mig när lätt. Huh?
Yeah, I think actually Python could have played a retake. Because they were trying to have the best of all worlds, hold both sides and have the flank.
Ja, Bonnie Pose steppet.
Really have the numbers, so that would be my criticism. But I don't think they played it particularly badly, to be honest. Python bought a lot of time. It was just when crunch time came, Maka couldn't connect, unfortunately, and
Pass mig när lätt. Easy. That just late
this is
chunk I
gonna be
mark.
brutal for Falcons if they lose this map, because it just feels like first of all, how have they made it to 10? With some of these rounds, how they're conspiring, but also
Bravo, se
they
ne?
equally have left quite a lot on the table, I think.
Šve si robi bumio.